Okay, so you just spouted every single conservative bullshit misinformation talking point available in the world. Oh, well, people choose this out of desperation. You are discounting how many people just choose this. Secondly, y'all don't even work on getting rid of the reasons why people might be desperate enough to get into this line of work, which, if you want people to not need money, either change the system from capitalism to something else, or make it so the wages are high enough that people don't need to choose this. Make it so that there's a thriving wage, universal basic income, rent cap, available and affordable groceries, medicine, and housing. Right now, your first point was, oh, capitalism. Yeah, we all live under capitalism. We all live under capitalism. So that is not a unique thing, people needing money to survive. Secondly, you started talking about, oh, well, people, it's young girls. No, it's not. Apparently, the average age for somebody to get into this line of work is like 24. And I'm really tired of people infantilizing people who choose this. Oh, you're young. I was not in this game until I was 42. About 3 years ago, basically. Actually, no, 43. Whichever. So again, stop infantilizing people. Oh, we're so young. We're so young. We don't know. We don't know. Guess what? Part of life is learning. Part of life is making a decision and then learning about the ramifications of it. And anybody who goes into this line of work, if they have paid attention for even 2 seconds to any SW, you would know that SWs will tell you, look, this could be a hard job. This is going to be something you're going to have to work at. There's going to be so much stigma. And honestly, even a young person would have to have their eyes closed and their ears blocked up to not see the amount of bullshit that gets hurled at SWs. The amount of people who come in and stigmatize us, talk down to us, talk about us like we are children who do not know how to make a fucking decision, when a lot of us are far more educated, especially on these subjects, than any civilian. You talk about, oh, well, we shouldn't encourage men to buy bodies. Again, you civilians are the ones who are making that particular point up. You are making the work more dangerous for us. You are making the job more dangerous by putting out there that clients can buy our bodies. You're not buying bodies, you're buying services. You're buying fantasies. And if you, as a civilian especially, cannot tell the difference between a fantasy scenario and a real thing, an actual thing, then that is a you problem. And that you problem is becoming a us problem because you are forcing those ideals on us, and we are having to deal with the ramifications of you not being able to understand fantasy versus reality. One of my personas that I do is a 45,000-year-old vampire goddess. Am I really 45,000 years old? Am I really a vampire? Am I really a god? Okay, well, yeah, I am a goddess. I am a goddess. But yeah, anyways, you keep talking about one misinformation point after another. Then you talk about, oh, well, so many people are like, so many of these young girls are groomed and trafficked. Grooming and trafficking are not the same as SW. When you conflate the two, you put everybody, trafficking victims and SWs, in more danger. We shouldn't legalize. Shut up. Shut up. We're not asking for legalization. We're asking for decriminalization. We're asking for decriminalization so that there is no two-tiered system where we have the haves and have-nots. When it is legalized, it is often legalized by people like you who do not understand what SW is or what we need. So we end up with stupid-ass laws and backdoor criminalization in the form of things like needing licensing and permits, things that can cost far too much or be exceptionally hard to obtain, meaning you're going to have some people who are able to attain it, but you're going to have a lot who do not have the means or funds to do so. And what happens then? Do they stop working? No, they just keep working, but illegally, which puts them afoul or pushes them towards the more criminal side, which means they're in more danger. And we know really, really well. Hell, take 2 seconds to sniff the air and look up an article. There are so many cops, so many police forces that use their power for violence that will grape women in custody, especially trafficking victims, especially SWs. They will also do it to civilian women. And yet somehow you want to push us closer to cops. Decriminalization means it's not a crime to begin with. Therefore, it makes it a lot more difficult for cops to be a-holes. And it makes it a lot easier for us to rent a place to have a roof over our fucking head. It means that it is much harder for us to be debanked, deplatformed. Decriminalizing it doesn't promote it. It just makes it safer for us to do. And again, if you don't want nearly as many people going into this line of work, make sure that the rest of society actually functions. Y'all don't take on patriarchy. Y'all don't put boundary lines down for yourself. Oh, I would never choose to do. I'm not asking you to do this. I'm asking you to shut the fuck up and let me do this. This is a line of work I chose. This is a line of work that I want because I like the arts. I am still living in poverty, but guess what? At least I'm making some amount of money. Some amount of money. Because guess what? The regular 9 to 5s, I was finding nothing. I was doing 40 to 60 to sometimes 80 hours worth of application input to get nothing. To get no money, to get no interviews, nothing. Or to be told I was overqualified or I didn't have the right qualifications. With SW, I have the qualifications. I have the qualifications and I'm just working on being a better editor, a better marketer, so on and so forth, etc. But again, here you are, you're spouting all these points and showing me that you have never listened to an SW. You've never actually listened. On the other hand, you have listened to every single propaganda think piece from a conservative source. I'm guessing most of them religious. And you know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know absolutely nothing about this work. And you are doing nothing but spouting misinformation that is actually going to put a lot of us, not just SWs, but trafficking victims, in much more danger. And you really need to stop. You really need to stop, and you really, really, really need to listen to SWs. Because if you want to actually correct these problems, you're going to have to go about it much different. That means also changing your thinking, which I know is ever so hard, but it's your choice whether or not you want to keep putting people in danger, especially victims. Good luck.